Hello and welcome back. And in this short video, we're going to take a closer look at the trends indicator in action. And what we've done here is we've put together 3 clips of the same piece of price action. We're using the oil contract here. And we've also speeded this up by a factor of around 10. So we've got about an hour of price action condensed into a few minutes. And we've got 3 versions. The first on a time frame, we're on a 1 minute chart here. Then we're going to look at the same price action on the Renko chart. And finally, just to round off on a tick chart. Now, as you can see, the trend dot itself, we're in a down phase here. The dot itself is very important where the dot is actually located on the price chart. If it's well above, then it's pressing down. You'll see as the price action moves into transition, then the trend dot will move into the body of the candle. And if we're in an up phase, then the trend dot will move below, in other words, pushing up. So not only is the color of the trend dot important, but also its position within the candle, because this gives clues as to the direction, change in trends, and the strength of momentums as they develop. Now you can see here we've had a little trend run down with the red dots. We've moved into a congestion phase with the grey dots appearing. On that last candle it was pressing down. Now it's moved into the body of the candle on that one that's just formed on the red. Again, we're staying red. We're still in bearish phase here. Despite the fact that we've got an up candle there, you can see that the trend dot has remained red. Now we're moving into a transitional phase. It's changed to grey. Again, we've got a grey dot there. Inside the body of the candle, the trend dots have flattened. Now we're continuing to pick up the bearish trend again. We're still in grey, not transitioned back to red just yet. There we go, there's the red one, pressing down on that last candle at the bottom there. Again, another red trend dot there, moved marginally inside the body of that particular candle and into the body there. And outside there, pressing down on that last candle just formed. And the trend dots are helping to explain the price action, help to keep you in the trend through the color transitions and also the position of the dot within the candle itself. Now we've got an up candle formed. Trend dots remain red. Now we've gone to grey. So we're moving into another transitional phase and we've got our first blue trend dot appeared on the chart there. And that's followed by another one. Not particularly strong, it's moved inside of the body of the candle, and for a strong uptrend you want to see the trend dot outside, well outside the body of the candle, to confirm the momentum, the pushing up element, if you like, of the trend. You can see the trend dot there once again has moved inside the body of the candle, and again still inside the body of the candle, so the upwards trend is not strong at this point, and indeed we've moved into transition there with a grey trend dot. See what happens on this next one. Another grey trend dot inside the body of the candle. A further grey dot. And now perhaps we'll see a transition through to the blue. And there's our next blue. So we've moved from blue into transition. Now we're back to blue. Still fractionally inside the body of the candle, but now we've moved outside of the body of the candle. So the upwards momentum is much stronger. Even though we've had a down candle there, the trend dot has remained blue. And a further blue one there, helping us to stay in. Well inside the body of the candle, roughly below half, but we're still pretty much in the lower section of the candle. Now we're well outside again. Although the trend dot is grey, we're still outside the candle. Now we've reverted back to blue again, even though that was a down candle. Remaining blue there, well inside the body, so lacking a bit of momentum at the moment. Hopefully we'll pick it up on this one. The dot is still inside the body of the candle and we're really waiting for it to move outside. There we go. We've now got a strong signal of bullish momentum. The trend dot is well outside the candle, as it is on the next one. Remaining firmly blue. as we're climbing higher in this bullish trend phase. Now you can see the trend dots flattened a little bit there. Price action very narrow and flattened further. It's rolling over a little bit. We're still blue, even though the market is rolling over a little in terms of the price action. And now we've moved to the upside of the candle. We've reverted to grey. We're in a transitional phase. We've had a nice run up. We're in a transitional phase. The trend dots turned grey, and it's above the candle, so it's pushing down. Now we've got our first red trend dot appeared. Again, above the candle, it's pushing down. We're now in a bearish phase of price action. The last candle was inside the candle, then it moved outside to push that little candle down. Very narrow price action there, flattening. And we've moved into a transitional grey inside the body of that very narrow spread candle. And the same again there. And now we've moved outside the body of the candle, so pressing down a little bit. Still remaining grey. We haven't reverted back to our red trend dots yet at this point. See what happens on this one. And there's our red trend dot. But not a terribly strong signal. It's inside the body of the candle, as is that one. And we've reverted back to a transitional phase on grey inside the body of the candle. So this trend is not strong. We're in transition phase again. And another grey dot there. A further one to the downside of the candle. So perhaps suggesting we're seeing a pickup in bullish momentum. And indeed we get it confirmed there with the blue dot. That appears outside the body of the candle, and again there confirming the bullish trend. So we know we've got some momentum in this trend because the trend dots moved outside. Closer on that candle that's just formed. Inside the body there, so a little bit of weakness on the trend. See what happens on the next one. Just outside the candle there. And there we are, we've moved back outside the body of the candle. So in using the indicator, you're constantly looking at not only the changing colors, which are going to help define those congestion phases with grey, but also how the trend dot appears in terms of where it is in relation to the candle. Now we've moved to Renko, and what we've got here is the same section of price action, almost identical in terms of the time frame, but we're using it on a Renko chart, and we've got this on a 3-brick Renko. Exactly the same contract. We're on the oil contract here, but exactly the same principles apply. You can see there to the left we've had that nice little run up in the bullish trend, then we moved into a short congestion phase with the trend dots in grey, finally topping out, and now we've rolled over back into a grey congestion phase, and now we're picking up the bearish trend. You can see obviously with the trend dot above, it's pressing down on the brick. So we've got the little red dot is pushing the bricks lower. See what happens on this one. There the dot is remained red but has moved back inside of the candle, and we've got some very quick price action coming through there into a short congestion phase on the grey. We've moved back to the top of the candle again, having gone inside. So the bearish trend is still there, pushing the price action lower. And a further grey trend dot. So we haven't reverted back to our bearish trend just yet. Just pausing at this point, the market. And then we got a burst of price action with our trend dots reversing to bearish, red, back inside the brick there. On those last two, both the up brick and the down brick. But for the time being, the bearish trend it's still in play. And we're back into a short phase of congestion there. Back out again, we're back to red. remaining red as the price action moves lower. And now we've moved back into a congestion phase. We've got our first grey for this period. See what happens now. We've got another grey one there, so we're coming into a stronger congestion phase, perhaps reverting to a bullish phase. See what happens. And there we've got our first bullish trend dot, the blue, well outside the brick, so it's helping to push the market higher at this point. See what happens with this one. We've got a further upwards brick there, again with the trend dot nicely outside, remaining blue. Rolled over a little bit there, you can see the trend dots flattened a little bit there, went inside the body of the brick, then inside of the up candle, then to grey, then back to bullish. So we had a minor period of the flattening of the trend dots, and now we're back firmly into a bullish uptrend with the trend dot nicely below the brick and pushing it up, helping to push the price action, confirming the momentum on the brick. And as with the tick charts, you'll see in a minute, one of the beauties of trading either on a Renko chart or a tick chart where you have time removed, you do obviously see the momentum of the market displayed on the chart, which you don't see on the time-based charts. Period of congestion there, grey trend dots, but the bullish momentum remaining intact. Then we had two blue, then we're back into congestion phase with a little grey one again, above the candle, above the brick rather, beg your pardon. Back inside the brick there. Now we're picking up the bullish momentum again, we're breaking away. The blue dots, trend dots, helping to push the market higher. We're back into the body again on both those two bricks just formed. Now we're into grey, perhaps moving into a congestion phase. Trend dots are flattening, not so steeply inclined, and this is another aspect of using the trend dot. This gives you a sense of whether the market is moving into a congestion phase, not just from the colour, but also whether the trend dots are rising or flattening off into various changes and reversals in trend. Now you can see we've moved through that congestion phase. Trend dots have moved to the upper side of the bricks, and now we've gone to red. So we're in a bearish phase to the downside, pushing the bricks lower. And bear in mind, this is speeded up by a factor of around 10. And whilst Renko bars and indeed tick charts do form very quickly, depending on your settings, obviously, this is speeded up. Otherwise, this would make this an enormously long video. Now we're moving into congestion. Grey dots are coming in there. You can see they've moved back inside the body of the candle, of the brick, apologies. Now we're moving lower, remaining red, bearish trend still in place, back into grey. But the dot is actually below, so perhaps suggesting a push up from there, we'll see. Still in congestion, up and down on the bricks. Dots are moving inside the body, so there's no momentum to the market one way or the other at the moment. Now it's come outside, possibly picking up bullish momentum as a result. There we go, it's changed to blue. Up we go, there's the next one and the next one. Let's see where this one forms. Again, outside the body of the brick, so it's pushing up, remaining blue, and another, and another, and on we go. We're going up nicely, remaining outside, pushing the market higher. Let's see where this one forms. And we flattened off a little bit there, went inside the body of that down brick, but then it picked up momentum again very quickly. Lots of momentum there to the upside. Then we moved into this phase of price action lower before pausing once again. And finally, just to round off, we're going to look at the tick chart equivalent of the same piece of price action. And here we've got it on a 233 tick chart for the oil contract. And the principles are exactly the same, whether you're using a time-based chart or a tick-based chart or a Renko chart. The principles of interpreting the trend dots are identical, and how they behave is identical also. Once again, you can see we're in a downwards phase. The trend dot is sitting above the body of the candle. It's pushing down, in other words. That last one that's formed, that's actually moved inside the body of the candle, although there was no body to speak of per se. That trend dot is inside the candle. It's red, so it's disappeared into the body of the candle. There we are. It's popped up above that next one, so pushing down. Even though that up candle was green. Again, the trend dots have remained red on those last two candles, but moved inside the body of the candle, so we're lacking momentum. And that's really confirmed with the congestion dot, the grey one. It's really just telling us that yes, we are in a congestion phase at the moment, and we're just waiting for direction to be confirmed. Although, having said that, the grey trend dot is actually above the candle, so you are expecting it to push down from there, which looks as though it's what it's going to do, and indeed it does. We go back to red, with the dot sitting above the outside the body of the candle, pushing down. It's remained there on that one, even though that was a little up candle, and the same there. But the dot has now moved to the bottom of the candle, the underside of the candle. We're into a congestion phase here. We've gone grey, another grey one there pushing down, and a further one. Are we going to transition to red? Yep, we've transitioned to red. And a further red trend dot there to the top side of the candle. Now we're moving back into a temporary congestion phase perhaps. We've gone grey, a further grey, back to red. And a further red trend dot. So the bearish momentum is in play for the time being. Then the trend dots flatten off, remained red, but they've flattened and moved inside the body of the candle. And now we've moved to the underside of the candle in grey. So we've moved into transition from bearish, the red, into the grey, but to the underside of the candle. And now we've gone to our first blue trend dot, to the underside of the candle, pushing up, lacking a little bit of momentum on that last one, but outside the body of the next one, so pushing the market higher. The same there, again, outside the body of the candle, below the body in the wick. And again there, although that's a doji candle with no body, but certainly to the lower third of the wick. We're back inside the body of the candle, moving up the market, but again, you can see the trend dots flattened there. It's gone into the body of the candle. It's remained blue. It hasn't transitioned to grey or even straight through to red, but it has there moved into transitional phase into the body of the candle on that widespread up candle, and then we're outside again, and now we're off. And the blue trend dots are outside the candles, well outside the body of the candle, pushing the market higher. On that last one, we've just moved fractionally inside. Now we're outside again, even though it's a down candle, remaining blue on that last one. Back inside the body, and now we've flicked over to the upside, so we've got some downwards pressure coming into the market. We've transitioned into grey on that last spread candle. Never went to red though, kept us in. Now we're on grey and back to blue. Some fast price action coming in now. So the bullish trend took us up to the top there. Now we've rolled into a congestion phase, a red trend dot, our first red trend dot for some time. Pushing the market down, but not pushing it very far. Now we're back to grey again and up to blue, and we've gone back into the bullish trend. Some further congestion phase there, but notice the trend dots are staying below the candle. Then we go inside the body of the candle. Now we're back to the underside of the candle in grey. We haven't transitioned to blue yet. Now we've got our first blue one coming, but look at where it is. It's in the body of the candle, and they're very flat, the trend dots. So this is not a market that's got a huge amount of momentum one way or the other at present. We're in congestion, a lot of grey trend dots in congestion. Now we've moved outside to the upside of the candle, possibly seeing a reversal in trend. There's our first red trend dot coming in, and a second and a third. All outside the body of the candle, but to the upside. That last one we've moved fractionally inside, so this could be a pause point. No, we're further on down. Staying red, keeping us in if we're short at this point, if we're scalping. Well outside on that last candle to the upside, so we're expecting to see a further push lower, and that one delivers on there as well. Now perhaps we're going to see a flattening of the trend dots, which we do. Remaining red though. They're still red, keeping us in. Then the next candle forms, the trend dots in that body of that candle. Then we've got a grey, back to red, both the last one there inside the body. Both grey dots there inside the bodies of the candle. So we're moving into a transitional phase again, and then we're straight out again. Very fast move lower, two red trend dots, one after the other, bang, bang. Into that phase, flattening off, turning grey. And that's our first blue trend dot for some time. A couple there to the underside. A grey, not a terribly strong response at the moment. Back into a congestion phase. We're waiting to see if this is confirmed, or are we going to have some further downside momentum? Let's see. We're still in congestion on the grey, but the dots are to the downside, certainly on the last one. They flicked over. Now we're to the downside of the candle. Now we're well outside the body of the candle to the downside. So pushing the market higher. Let's see where this one forms. The trend dots moved up to touch the body of the candle, but to the downside. We're in the bottom third of the body of the candle there, so bullish momentum intact for the time being. And now we're well outside the body of the candle again, and we're looking for a pickup in momentum as a result. And here we go. Lots of blue trend dots. Now we're moving into a further congestion phase at the top there, and there we go. So that's the trends indicator in action on 3 different chart styles, on a time-based chart, on a Renko chart, and on a tick chart. And as I hope you've seen, it works in exactly the same way across all those various styles of charting. So why not add the trends indicator to your toolkit of Ninjatrader indicators? And in the next video, we're going to look at using the trend indicator with its sister indicator, the trend monitor. So thanks for watching, see you soon, and bye for now.